What's up guys, Daniel Apke here. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, this channel is all about online businesses, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. Do what makes you happy. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through one of my dropshipping stores that I shut down and why I shut the store down. This is not your typical success story. Just as my successes, I'm also gonna walk you through some of my failures. By the end of this video, you should understand some of the risk associated with starting a dropshipping store and online business, but I'll also talk about some of the upside and some of the success I've seen in online businesses and dropshipping as well. Just like anything else in life, there's some risk associated with online business and entrepreneurship. It's my goal to keep this channel unbiased and unfiltered so that you guys can hear the truth. All right guys, let's get right into it. I started this store back in mid-2020 and I decided to start a new store because I had another dropshipping store that was doing about $150,000 of sales a month, and I wanted to diversify my dropshipping portfolio and online business portfolio, so I decided to create a new store. At the beginning, this store seemed really promising. I launched my ads and immediately started getting sales and conversions. So at the beginning, I was really optimistic about this store. Things were looking really good. At the time, I was getting some key suppliers and some key partners on this store that I thought I could really dominate this niche, and I thought things were looking really good for us. I even hit a month early on with $80,000 of sales in month 3, which is unheard of in dropshipping. It usually takes a while to build that up. Unbelievable. So things were looking really promising and I was very optimistic about this store. As time went on, I realized things weren't as good as they seemed. Although sales seemed high, profits were minimal. So let's talk about some of the mistakes I made. I was spending way too much money on ads. Although conversion seemed high, some of these suppliers were charging outrageous amounts for shipping, and after looking in the numbers and diving deep into our financials, I realized some of our suppliers were actually non-profitable brands. Another issue we had were our supplier relationship issues. We would run into problems and our suppliers just were not handling our customers' issues, warranty issues, return issues very well at all. So then our customers would file for chargebacks or we were forced to refund them when we were not getting refunds from our suppliers. Just like other people's issues during this time, there was such a lack of inventory. This was during COVID and things were just out of stock. One of the major mistakes I made was growing too fast. So due to the success I saw with my other store of doing about $150,000 a month at the time, I tried to amp things up a little bit too fast. I got very aggressive on ad spendings. I launched 20 suppliers at once, and ultimately it wasn't good because I didn't know which suppliers were gonna be successful or not, so I was spending equal amount of advertisements on everyone, blowing money away. Ultimately, we were bleeding and leaking as a company. I had a ton on my plate at the time. Between running the store, my 9-to-5 job, and the other businesses I was involved with, things were overwhelming to say the least. I just put too much on my plate that I couldn't really chew. So how did we react to these issues? So we made some major changes and adjustments to try to get things under control. So I decided to outsource ads for the first time. I hired a marketing company to see if they can reach an audience that we couldn't reach and ultimately get more conversions at more profit margins than we were getting at the time. Another major change I made was I pivoted to another niche, completely separate from mine. It was still in the same kind of space, but we made this pivot to get more suppliers and see if there's better profit margins in other niches as well. So instead of focusing on our one niche, we kind of pivoted to 3 or 4 different niches. Pivot! And sent out a ton of emails and calls, partnered with about 20 to 30 new suppliers in new niches. So I outsourced ads, which ultimately saved us money, and we made a massive pivot in industries and niches. So what happened? So we started getting more sales and things kind of looked promising, but the sales were so inconsistent and spread out, and it was so competitive at the time that we are still bleeding. So after focusing on the store for a couple more months and making these changes, things were still inconsistent and sales were inconsistent as well. Profit was still bleeding. So my brother and I made the very tough decision of shutting the store off and managing old orders. It was a very tough decision, but we knew that we had to do it really to get the other stores profitable and where we needed them to be. Ultimately, I had to fire an employee that was running this store as well. Luckily, I had good connections in different industries, so I sent a couple of messages to a friend of mine, and one of them actually picked him up and hired him on managing their dropshipping store. It was honestly very relieving shutting down the store. Every order seemed to be a headache. There were so many issues with suppliers in the industry, and customers' products were constantly breaking or shipping or damaged. So shutting down the store was very relieving to me, and I was happy we did it. So what did I learn from this experience? One, I learned business doesn't always go as planned, things change and things get tough. There are risks associated with any business. There are risks in dropshipping and online businesses. Although the overhead is so low, the risk is not that great, there are still risks of failure. One of the keys is to move slow and stay consistent. Consistency is very big for dropshipping, just like any other business. And if we didn't spend so much on ads and if we didn't grow a supplier network so much, we probably wouldn't have bled so fast, and we would have been able to maintain and grow the store slowly and consistently. Move slow and consistent over very fast and aggressive. So we grew our supplier network so much and so fast that it caused us to spend so much on ads when we weren't getting conversions, which caused us to rack up a lot of debt and a lot of credit card debt on ads during this time. We are spending so much money because of these ads with such a little return because we just grew our supplier network. We didn't know which products or lines were profitable. Ultimately, that led us to bleeding. So how much money did I lose to this store? I'd say anywhere between $5,000 to $12,000. So we split that in half with my brother. So I'm looking at anywhere between $3,000 to $7,000 each, I would say. Factoring the $5,000 to $10,000 compared to the amount that I've made on other dropshipping stores and other online businesses is very minimal. And I realize that, and I realize there's risk to business, but the pros always outweigh the cons in online business, I think. If you keep moving forward and keep pushing forward, we probably could have made this store come around and profitable again, but we decided to focus on our other stores and our other online businesses where we knew it wouldn't be as much work to get things turned around. We just didn't like the general direction of where the store was going, so we decided to shut it down. But if we really put enough time and effort into it, I really think that we could have made it come around eventually. I hope I didn't shy you guys away from starting an online business or dropshipping, but I want everyone to be aware there are risks in this. It's not easy and it doesn't come fast either. If you have questions about anything that we discussed in this video, make sure to put them in the comments below and I'll personally reach out to you. That's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week.